It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Mopreme Shakur was born August 16th, 1967. He is a musician, songwriter, as well as TV and film producer. 9 days after Mopreme was born, J. Edgar Hoover set out the official memo to the FBI to, quote, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize those in the Black Liberation Movement. Although the majority of COINTELPRO was aimed at the Black Panther Party, other activists, including Mopreme's father, Dr Mutulu Shakur, were targeted and harassed by the counterintelligence program. This interview was initially supposed to appear in season 2 of this series. However, due to the decline in Dr. Mutulu's health and the constant denial of his compassionate release, we felt it necessary to include it here. What is it like being the family member of a political prisoner?
It's hard on anyone who's got a loved one in prison, especially federal prison, because they send them all over the country in order for the family to be able to see them or visit them. They gotta, take a plane trip sometimes, buses, with the kids. It's hell. It's hell. And shout out to those people, the families who've been holding it down, for their loved ones locked up, because, they like unsung heroes. They put in work. Not just because I'm one too, but I see it. The mothers, the sisters, the aunties, good girlfriends, the wives, holding it down.
Could you tell me a bit about the medical neglect that your father's faced?
Well, man, okay. Like in 2015, 16, he wasn't feeling good. And they were telling him that he had, he was getting diabetic. He was getting diabetes. So they were giving him a particular type of medication. Wasn't feeling no better. And then his legs started swelling up. So they kept giving him diabetic medication. Come to find out, no, it wasn't diabetes. A brown recluse spider had bitten him in the cell, went inside the womb, and laid babies. They had not diagnosed diabetes from a spider bite, and they were about to cut off his leg because of it. And thank God he caught it in time. They got the spider and his eggs out. I mean, he had to leave the facility and go to an actual hospital. It had gotten so bad. Mm. And I'm saying to myself, they don't know the difference between a spider bite, a well-known, poisonous spider that the whole part of, especially the western part of the country, is familiar with. They don't know. But that's what happened. And now currently, he's got bone cancer, which has returned. He's a warrior, so he's fighting with a smile on his face. Mm. But he's been getting stem cell treatments, and they're very, very painful. And so we have been pushing stronger than ever to get him out.
Mm. With the push to get him out, I know he should have been released, right?
Affirmative. he he's earned a lot of good time, which means credit to your sentence. He's earned a lot of good time that they just took away from him that we're trying to get back. Plus, we're trying to get him out on compassionate release. Show some compassion. He paid the bill. He was supposed to be out in 2016. Because he was sentenced under the old laws. Under the old laws, you had to do 50% of your time. 50% of 60 is 30. No new cases, no new 30 years. He was, no problems. But when it's time for him to get out, they got some kind of way to keep him. So he's ended up doing an extra 5 years.
I was wondering, in the last, we're recording this the November 7th, 2021. With the recent release of Russell Maroon Schultz and David Gilbert, do you guys feel like there's extra hope in getting your father out?
Just got to keep on praying, man. David Gilbert was that was a state case. Mutulu's situation is a federal case, which is more difficult, as you see. We got the pressure on, a lot of politicians here in America to, do the right thing. Do the right thing. I mean, there's a lot of different points that, the lawyers and our advocates are fighting on, but for me, half of 60 is 30. Mutulu didn't get 60 with an L, 60 to life. You got straight 60 years. If you ain't got no new cases, no new infractions, no new major infractions, you should let the man go. He's a senior citizen. He paid the bill. Whatever y'all think, he paid the bill. Let him go.
In your opinion, why do you think they're keeping him?
In my opinion, why I think they're keeping him, because they're scared of his brain. He's a very influential man. He's a very smart man, and he cares about the people, which is not very popular amongst, the powers that be. And someone like him is a motivator, can be a motivator. We've lost a lot of our leaders, and, a lot of people are just blessed that he's still alive. He's still here with us as a, inspiration. But, it's difficult.
So one of the reasons I even started this project is I began noticing at rallies and protests everywhere, even here in London, for like newer movements for social change that are not particularly related to the new African people struggle that your family has been involved in. Claiming Assata and doing what is called Assata's Chant. But a lot of those people have no idea about your father, or they have no idea about a Sundiata, or even a Russell Maroon Schultz, or a David Gilbert, or a Marilyn Buck. Why do you think there is that disconnect, and how do we kind of close that gap?
Because these people you just mentioned are people who dared to fight. Daring to fight is bold, and is not made for the faint of heart. Everybody doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to fight that fight. It scares them a lot. But somebody's got to do it. With certain, like with Malcolm, for example, they would tell him, "Oh, you can't say stuff like that. You can't say stuff like that." well, you got to do something to make change. You know what I mean? You have to inspire or make the change yourself. You know? And we are people who fight for the people. Period. My family, you know? We fight for the people, which, you know, I'm very proud of.
What does having the Shakur last name mean to you?
Oh man, it means it means so much. There's so much with that. There's so much history. There's so much responsibility. There's so much integrity. There's so much power. There's so much envy. There's so much adulation, and it, you know. It takes, you know, knowing who you are to balance these things and not let it get, you know, make your head explode.
I think one of the reasons, in my opinion and a little bit of my experience, why your family, they resonate so much, like across the globe. I'm in London, is because you guys kind of represent that generational change, and how things in going from the 60s and 70s to, well, even if we go back to your grandfather with the 50s and Malcolm and the OAAU, that change is reflected in the black communities, not just in the US but even here.
It hurts that it bothers me, not hurts, it bothers me that I have to sidestep my youth to stand up and do some shit that somebody else supposed to be doing. Right. You understand what I'm saying? There's too many men out here for me to be doing this, because it ain't my turn yet. I'm supposed to be following behind him getting the knowledge. I don't even got a chance to get the fucking knowledge. I can't go to college. There's too much problems out here. I don't got the money. Nobody do. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is it's not as easy as we mapping it out to be. And we gotta stay real. We gotta stay real. Before we can be New African, we gotta be black first. Right. You understand? We gotta get our brothers from the street like Harriet Tubman did. Why can't we look at that and see exactly what she was doing? Like Malcolm did. The real Malcolm. Before the Nation of Islam. You gotta remember this was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? The push and all that. We forgot about all of that. And our strive to be enlightened, we forgot about all our brothers in the street, about all our dope dealers, our pushers and our pimps, and that's who's teaching the new generation. Because y'all not doing it. I'm sorry, but it's the pimps and the pushers who's teaching us. So if you got a problem with how we was raised, it's because they was the only ones who could do it.
Woo! Young Machiavelli. Keeping it real on them suckers. Oh, man, it's so good hearing that. Exactly how we were feeling. Pac and I made it. Pac and I had made it to a point where we had something that could actually help the people. Now we need some direction. We look to our fathers, we look to our uncles, we look to our godfathers, we look to, you know, the men in and around our family. And in our situation in particular, they were, you know, MIA, either incarcerated, dead, or on the run. Unfortunately. So we had to get by with the knowledge that we had learned from the people on the street, them good people on the street who was just trying to survive. That's that thug life. That's what Pac was talking about. Them good, everybody on the street that's involved in that, you know, low-level crime. Some of that is because of economic necessity, you know? Economic necessity. It's not always because of desire to just be a mad dope-dealing king. You know, I'm the mad dope king. Yeah, I got all the money. You know, it ain't, you know, some of it is about putting food in that baby's mouth. You know what I mean? Making sure your daughter can go to school and not be embarrassed by the clothes she has on. you know, and feel good about themselves. You know, we, yeah, we missed out. We missed out a lot. That's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice Pac was pissed at, you know. And in Pac's case, you know, his mother dealt a bad hand. And at that point, she was going through her own struggles. Mm-hmm. My father, where's he at? Serving 60 years in prison. My favorite uncle, where's he at? Victim to drugs. You know, my other uncle, where he's at? Locked up for 20. Other uncle, where he's at? Locked up for 10. Other uncle, where he at? All cops killed him. You know what I'm saying? It started getting like that. It started getting like that. You know, whereas all we had is us and brothers, you know, on the street. He said, hey, watch out there, shorty, don't go that way. Blah, blah, you know what I mean? Hey, shorty, don't do that. I'll never forget my man Punchy. He said, man, I ain't gonna let you sell drugs for me. I don't let people I love do shit like that for me. You know, it's that vein of goodness in them communities that be looking out. That don't get the credit they deserve sometimes, because it ain't always easy.
What is one thing you would want people to know about you that they don't know, or they may not know?
I'm smarter than I look.
What about one thing you would want people to know about your father that they don't know?
Oh, man. I don't know if they know how passionate he is about health. A lot of people are familiar with, you know, his struggle, his fight in other ways, but they're not that as familiar with his contributions to the acupuncture world, which are great. You know, great contributions. The acupuncture procedures they had started, treating them addicts in Lincoln Detox and Banner and onward, those methods are now being practiced all over the world. All these acupuncture shops have started opening up around the country. My father was part of them being able to do that, you know, in a way. So that's what I think people should learn. And it comes from a legitimate place. From our family, you know, my grandmother being saddled with glaucoma. As a kid, trying to find health care, knowing about health care from a young kid, how to take care of your mama, you know? It's that's what they don't.